Welcome to Unleash Your Courage. I'm your host, Angela Schroeder. Excited to have Brunt from Jill's office with me here today. And you even made the intro video already.
Man, I feel so privileged. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Oh, excited to have you. Excited to have you. And whether you're listening live on Turfs Up Radio, in the Facebook group, or you are listening by recording, we are glad you're here. If you're live with us on Facebook, make sure that you register with StreamYard and leave us a comment so that we know you're here. If you don't register with StreamYard, I can't see and call out. I'm not sure who said let's go. But I love putting the comments up here. So we'll go ahead and get started, Brunt. And why don't you start off by telling our audience just a little bit about you?
Yeah. So again, my name is Brunt. I am the owner of Jill's office. Super excited to be here. A little bit about me. Married. My wife is the other owner of Jill's office. Autumn is her name. And we have two little rambunctious kids, 3 and 7 years old. We are from Utah, live in Utah. We spend a lot of time with our kids, a lot of time, my 7-year-old's into sports. And so recently a lot of football games, pretty excited about that. I spend a lot of time barbecuing, I love to eat, so might as well cook my own food. So spend a lot of time doing that. But yeah, started Jill's office 8 years ago. I worked in a call center before and hated my job. So I decided to start a job that didn't suck by starting a call center that didn't suck. So, we've been growing it ever since. And, 8 years down the road, here we are, and pretty excited about what we've done.
Awesome. I love that. Start a job that didn't suck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We're going to dive into lots of that. I want to hear more about your kids and stuff too. But started Jill's office 8 years ago. Was that your first? Sure, cooks for me too. Okay, I can't wait to know. I get distracted by the Facebook comments, and then I want to know who put them. So, if you're commenting on Facebook, let us know who it is. Okay, so when you started Jill's office, is that the first business that you started?
Yeah, so Jill's office is the first business. I do come from a family of a lot of entrepreneurs. So my dad owned his own business, his whole life, and all my aunts and uncles own their own business. So wasn't unfamiliar with the business owner territory, but this is Jill's office is my first business that I've ever owned.
Awesome. And what made you, besides starting a job that didn't suck, what motivated you to want to start your own business and really take that leap of courage and go out on your own?
Yeah, so great question. Being surrounded by a family of entrepreneurs, I kind of always knew that I wanted to start a business. Like I remember right out of high school, it's like, do I start a lawn mowing business? It's like, hey, let's go start a Jamba Juice. Like, who knows? You're just throwing everything out that you want to do, and then you go to college, you got married, and just kind of started down the job route. And for me personally, I was a good employee, but I'm like, it just wasn't the right fit for me. Mm-hmm. And so, when, the right idea came and, I pitched it to my wife, and she's like, that sounds stupid. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's do the business. So, that's in business partner. So it's all.
So tell me about being a business partner with your wife. What is that like?
It's awesome. I remember back in the day, when we very first started, I'm like, I don't know if I could be in business with my wife, because it's just like, number one, she's already had her own career going, and it's just like, I kind of want to do what I want to do, but it's just like, we're already, we're married, we see each other all the time, but now it's like, you see each other all the time. Every single minute of the day. And, it's, we had a lot to work on, especially when it comes from being married and then being business partners. And there was, some confrontation, not yelling or anything like that. It's just like, well, I think I should do it this way. She thinks we should do it that way, and so, but we learned to compromise, we learned to really work together. And I think it was a great thing for us in our marriage. And, it's helped us a lot. Now, it's hard when at home, you go home and you still talk about work, and it's just like, when does it stop? So we've worked a lot on that to when it's family time and not work time. But, we've came to a pretty healthy medium right now.
I love it. You said a lot of good things in there of like, yeah, you were married and then business partners. And I love the inflection of like, now we're together all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That there are so many elements in that of doing business and life together. And JC is watching, so he says hi.
Hey, JC.
And Jake is the one who said, I love to eat too. That JC confirmed. But it is a different element. And I think that you can not hide so much, but that's what I thought in when you're together all the time, as business partners and a partner in life together. There are those breaks, there's things you're still independent and doing your own things. And when you're business partners as well and working in business together, it's like you're really doing all of it together. And there isn't this thing that's just on your own and you that it blends. And there's so much more vulnerability required
100%.
in that because there's not the places that you can hide, that you can go be this person at work and it be a mess and just come home and that be. It's like you are sharing all of those and those roles and working together as well and trying to just fit it all.
Yeah, you feel a lot of the same stresses, right? When people work two separate jobs or they own two separate companies or anything like that, you can come home and you can share different things because, there are two different worlds you're living in terms when it comes to, work, but when you're together, you're feeling it, a lot of the same things. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, that's where it's good to have a good team around you to help you. But that's where you learn to really, find, faith in each other, that, you don't let it affect your family and your marriage because you're feeling the same things, but you're able to work through it, over time.
Feeling the same things. That's a good comment on that, because if there's stresses in the business and you're going through something and there's so much power and energy in working in the goal together, but when that goal doesn't get met or there's some type of failure in the business, something lacking, you're right. You're both feeling that. You both have the weight of that. And in people that aren't in business together, then you can go home and kind of be fed by the partner and supported, because sometimes you're in different ebbs and flows of energy. And then the same thing is true for at home, right? There's bound to be struggles in the family, whether something happens with the kid and there's a discipline thing, or extended family, or, different things in the relationship. You're not going to work your career to get fed and escape from that and get, supported by a different energy, because it's all the same. So you have to figure out how to flow in that together.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake has a question resulting that is, what is the biggest challenge you found in working with your spouse?
I think the biggest challenge is also the biggest reward. And that's like having your own space. Because a lot of times it's like when I'm doing something and it's just like, am I encroaching on what Autumn's trying to do? Am I getting in her way for her growth? Or vice versa. And that took a lot from us to actually like figure that out, because it was just like, when you're owning a business and you're like trying to move forward, well, different ideas, different things, different ways of doing things. I am more of a visionary. She's an implementer, but we're business owners. And so especially when we have those different personalities, and we're trying to grow and have our own space inside of that, that was hard. And it's still hard to this day, because it's just like, well, I think we should do this. And it's like, but we learn our boundaries and we learn our personalities and we know how to give and take. And, me knowing I'm a visionary, her knowing she's an implementer, and that's a very important role, and how to best support those in being a business owner.
Well, that's what I was going to go into next, is which one are you? Are you? And that is, okay. I figured that you were the visionary, but I didn't know. So you do complement each other in the visionary and integrator roles, which I'm not saying is easier or isn't, but that's a whole nother dynamic in business partnership. And if you have those roles, and that naturally leads to, again, some things that are the best, right? Because those two work very well together. in running a business, but it also means keeping each other in check.
Yeah. Especially as a visionary, I come in, I sit in my meetings, I'm like, hey guys, I have this idea. We're going to have this done next month. Okay. We're doing it right now. And it's just like, then, Autumn, who's the implementer, who's like, well, you didn't think about this, and it's just like, okay, I didn't think about it, but let's do it. And she's like, well, but then you got to think about this, because I'm not, I don't think of the small details. That's where my struggle is. But that's where her passion is, and it's like, well, man, this idea is going to be great. Again, complementing each other, but again, working with each other for her to understand how she can work with me and how I can work with her, being those two separate people. So it's great.
I love it. So JC and I have talked about on our show a lot and in lives, we are both visionaries and extreme visionaries and what it is like. And I think we thought it was a lot funnier. It still is fun. It still is fun. I think we thought it was funnier. I remember us doing like a Facebook Live about it in early May and two visionaries. And these are the things that happen because like you said, you come in with an idea, which is both of us, let's do this. And there is not the integrator, which we have now both hired and put in our lives of incredible team members, that there's no one to say, now maybe you should think of this. Or what about this? Or we need to put these details in place before you jump off the cliff.
Yeah. And I am grateful that she is there by all means, because I probably would run this place in the ground with my ideas. But that's why I'm so grateful for her.
So. That's awesome. Well, like you said, so many benefits in working together in but the challenges, and I love how you framed it of, what's the biggest challenge, but it's also the biggest reward. And that was a great one that you identified. And I think that can be true in whether extra true because of marriage and business partners, but it can be true in a marriage and it can just be true in a business partnership, whether, you have a great business partnership with someone you're not married to, of everyone growing, do we both have our own space? That comes a little different when you're in everything together, because that can kind of be, do I have my own, where do I have my own space to just explore and become the person that I need to be? And then where do I have the space in the business to both feel like you're growing the business, but that you're still on a track that you feel like you're growing as a person and professionally.
Yeah, 100%.
That could be an interesting conversation just as people it always like sparks all these ideas. I'm like, let's think of that. Michelle, it's on your team members. I was like, how do we make sure everyone, how do we make sure everyone on our teams as well feel like that of how are we making space for everyone to feel like they're growing. So on that note, we're going to come back and dissect more of your business story and more about Jill's office after our first commercial break.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turf's Up Radio. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Crest is leading the transition from gas-powered lawn equipment for professional operations with the introduction of the industry's first truly game-changing innovation in battery-powered OPE. With the Cress 8-minute cyber system, professional landscapers can now replace their messy gas-powered equipment without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. The 8-minute cyber system allows for Cress-made 60-volt batteries to fully charge in 8 minutes or less, just enough time for a water break. Complemented by a full line of equipment benchmarked against gas-powered products, landscapers can finally take charge of their business and make the switch to battery. For more information, visit Cress.com. Visit Cress.com. Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com. Monitoring
and we're back. Okay, so that was a great segment on working with your spouse and some great insight on that. Let's move into a little bit more about Jill's office. I have loved getting to know more about the intricacies of what you guys do and, magic that you can bring to the businesses that you work with. So just tell us a little bit more about Jill's office and the clients that you work with.
Yeah. So Jill's office, we are a, virtual receptionist that is mostly within inside the service industry. So we answer phones, schedule appointments, and make outbound calls and follow calls for a wide variety of businesses in the service industry. We're mostly within the exterior cleaning industry, but we answer from anything from landscaping to HVAC to plumbing, you name it. With inside the service industry, we've handled it before, and that's we've been doing it for 8 years, and we're pretty excited about what we've done and what we have coming up here in the next little bit.
Yeah, you guys have some great technology coming up. We'll have to have you back on to talk about that as well, but. Such a great thing for small business owners. Talked about the service industry space. And, a lot of times people just do not, that's one of the first things that they don't have the capacity for and need help with is being able to provide that remarkable client experience with a voice on the phone, with someone answering the phone professionally, being able to schedule those appointments. So not only that thing, that they're missing and not getting to, but, so often, even from the beginning, and we talk about this, whether you're the guy on the truck or the guys in the truck and you, the biggest amount of money left on the table because you are missing the calls that ring.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I've talked to, thousands of business owners, and a lot of people, they start a company and, because they're really good at what they do, you're really good at your trade. But, you don't necessarily, I like to say it like this, like a lot of people have telephonophobia, they're afraid of the phone, but at the same time, that's where a lot of business comes from. They want to go out, they want to do their trade. They want to, they want to go and provide for their family. But, there's services like ours that can help you overcome those stresses so that we can help you go and you can do great at your trade and we'll be great at ours.
Oh, I love that. So that's a great second part of that, of not just, as I said, so many people do not put this in place soon enough in their business because they are missing the calls. Because they are on the truck, they're the one doing the work or doing the sales and the customer running the business. And this is the first thing that you need to make sure that isn't missed. Because in our society today, people do not wait. They don't call and leave you a message, which is one of the reasons your service is so incredible. It gives people that opportunity without another full-time person in their office to not miss a phone call. But people no longer leave messages. They don't leave you a message and call you back. If you don't have somebody answering that phone and scheduling the appointment, they are calling the next person. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just say it's so true. It's that, people call around, or at the same time, I think there's two sides to it. There's people that, they know they want to call around. We live in the world of instant right now, but we also live in a world that they're just going to call around. And half the time they think that we're the answering machine because they just expect you not to answer, so, changing the mentality that, oh, wow, we actually get a lot of jobs because we're the first to answer for your company because they've called around and gotten so many voicemails, two different sides to it.
So such a great, point of service that you can have somebody answering the phone so that your clients, when they call, whether they're calling around or just calling for you, are actually getting someone, a voice representing your company. And then the other side of it, I like that I didn't know in the beginning that you did, was those proactive calls and outbound calls. And so important, like you said, as a business owner, people start a business because they like doing what they're good at, and then they kind of ignore the parts that they aren't. And phonophobia, that is true. I hadn't heard somebody say that, but that's true. A lot of people are scared of the phone. So just another reminder in doing what it is that you're good at and letting somebody else letting you guys take care of what you're good at.
Exactly. Yeah. As a business owner, I think, especially as you want to scale your business, unless you want to be my brother, he's a great business owner. He does concrete for a living. He has 2 guys. He will never grow his business past then. We used to answer his phones, and now he's just like, I don't want to grow my business. I just want to be this. And I only do referral work. And I'm like, okay, but at the same time, if you're planning on scaling and doing those things, you're going to have to learn to delegate. And it's important to, learn how to delegate some of these small tasks early on, and, and learn how to actually scale and do those things. And, that's why there's, great companies out there like us or like yours that can do these things.
And I didn't ask you about this to begin with, or when we were in conversation before, but people can do, you have a variety of things to serve all kinds of businesses, right? If people just need help in certain, certain hours that they're lacking, or a full-time person, that there's like different things that can accommodate all sizes of home service business.
Yeah. And a lot of times for some companies that have the admins, like we're just taking calls, from 6 p.m. to, 8 a.m. when they're not there, and on the weekends, so at least, things are happening where that backup, 24/7, almost 365. We are closed on Christmas and Thanksgiving because I try to be, a nice business owner. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So I knew about some after hour, but what are all the hours that you cover that you can have?
So we're
people in your business?
Yeah. So we're 24/7. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So people really could, I bet people are shocked in a lot of industries if they call and someone, like you said, that they think they're getting the answering machine and somebody answers the phone.
Yeah. What's crazy is when we started going 24/7, we thought most of the companies we'd answer for is just your emergency type businesses, your, roofing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. It's amazing how many calls we get for other businesses. I want my windows cleaned, but you're calling at 3 a.m., and it's just like, who's calling at 3 a.m.? But it's the people, we live in a world where it's open 24/7. You're going to work and you're getting off at 2 a.m. and you're like, I'll call and leave a message because I got to get this off my checklist. And it's amazing how many of those calls we get during the middle of the night.
Oh my, I bet those recordings are entertaining. Somebody that's calling at 3 a.m. to try and leave a message, like cross things off their to-do list, make themselves feel productive, thinking they'll get a call back the next day from the window washing company, and somebody's actually answering the phone.
Yeah, it is pretty entertaining.
I bet those people gave a good review.
Yeah, that's right.
What is, talking about business ownership? I love, there was a question coming of that, but I love the types of businesses that we own. I mean, I love all types of business ownership in the different businesses that I've owned, but I most love, and you get the opportunity to do that too, to not only be a business owner, but have a business that helps other business owners. That, not just like in a coaching consulting role, but literally have a business that is, and all businesses are great that are providing products and things to businesses, but that your whole foundation is to help other businesses succeed, do better, provide better customer service, and have a more pleasant experience as a business owner. What's that like?
That's a really great question. Something that I iterate in almost all of my meetings, especially, with our managers that, directly report, work with the Jills. And I'm like, we got to pass this on. And then we have a once a year meeting with all of our company that we bring everyone in. We call it JillCon, but, we're here, and it's just like, our main message is, do you understand what you're doing on a daily basis? Like, you're answering calls, you're doing these things, but at the end of the day, like, you're providing for a family. Like, you're putting food on the table for a small business owner here in the United States. And I think that's so important to understand, that every call is so important, because you're providing for someone to have the dream of being a business owner. And, we want, like, we talk about that because it's like, if you guys have dreams, we want to support you in your dreams, and we help them. So it's just like, we want to help each other. We're going to help you in your dreams. We're going to help them in their dreams. So, every call, so important, because you're providing for just a family, and it really hits home when you think about it. And in our JillCon, we actually fly in customers to come in and speak to our Jills, so that they understand how real it is. That we turn off our phones. We're 24/7, but we turn off our phones for 4 hours because we're flying people in to come and say, this is how you affect people. And it's a great meeting where it's just like, what we do is real. And families are real, people are real. You're not just sitting behind a computer. So, it's really important to, support the small business.
I love how real you make that. Trevor is chiming in saying hello. Thanks for watching, Trevor. That's so powerful that you fly in customers, but that are the clients, so that they can see how real it is. But those analogies that you're reinforcing that in your culture all the time, of that, each one of your people, it's not just you as a business owner that are doing this or as a business, but each one of your Jills, each one of your team members, that every call makes a difference. Every call makes a difference for that business owner, every client that they serve. And your business is unique, and your team members, because they really are representatives of those businesses. They're the face of those businesses. And that part that, like we just said, is the reflection, a big reflection of their client experience, whether it, be that first touch for a business.
And one of the main things that we do to help our Jills with this is, when they get hired, we teach them about vision boards. And every Jill has a vision board at their desk, so they can, like, think about dreams and goals and forwardness, because it's like, that's what you're doing on a daily basis for that person. You can think about it for yourself, for this business owner. So it's just like, you're moving forward in life. Everything we're doing, we're taking a step forward, not a step back. And that's, again, back to the culture of what we really try to train here at Jill's office.
I love that. Well, on that note, we're going to take our second commercial break, and we'll be back.
Have you considered artificial turf? It's great for areas with high precipitation, which means no mud after a heavy rain and no more mowing wet grass. Today's artificial turf is made using recycled materials and helps to reduce water consumption in areas of drought. Turf Envy's artificial turf is constructed of quality raw materials, safe for pets, humans, and our environment. With decades of experience, our staff can help with support, training, and product education to give you confidence when estimating a project for a potential customer. Learn more at turfnvusa.com today.
You're listening to Turf's Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey everybody, Wayne Voles, the Prophet, your host of Profit Time here on Turf's Up Radio. If you listen to my show, you know I'm all about profit. As an industry, profit is something we fail to meet most of the time. If you're working hard but not seeing the results that you deserve, Profits Unlimited is here to help. We offer processes and systems designed specifically to make your company more successful, more profitable, and certainly more efficient. When you're ready to take your company to the next level, reach out to me at profitsareus.com. That's profitsareus.com. And don't forget to turn into Profit Time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Busy work burning you out? Kick it to the curb and do more of what you love. How? With Landscape Management Network to spend less time creating estimates, tracking crews, doing job costing, managing invoices and payroll, and more. FYI, the average LMN contractor spends 50% less time doing payroll, increases profits, and lands more jobs. Put an end to burnout. Visit golmn.com/turfsup. That's golmn.com/turfsup to get started.
And we're back. Dan Plata checking in, saying hello.
Hey,
Dan took over my show last week. I was on an airplane, and it was fun to watch. Dan had some of the people that I'm usually on the panel of his show with. And so not only did I have the FOMO of missing out of my own show, but I thought I was missing out on being on that show too, and all the fun. And my daughter chimed in with some comments, so that was entertaining.
That's awesome.
Like, did you take over? They were talking about football, and I'm not sure how the conversation led to football, but it usually leads to, lots of beer sports and hunting. Like, did you take over the show just to talk about football? Evidently, there can be analogies of business in all of them.
That's true.
Okay, so dive in more into business and courage and all the things. We talked about how awesome it is to be able to be a business owner that is serving other businesses. Other than that, what is one of your favorite parts of being an entrepreneur?
I think some of my favorite parts of being an entrepreneur, is I am able to provide for people. I think that's actually one of my greatest things is like, I look out and a lot of people, they have home offices and things like that. We're one of the few now that still have, a big office and have a lot of people work in office. But to come in and meet the employees, to be able to, to see who they are, to see their struggles, to see what they want to go, and being able to support them on their growth is actually one of the things that, as an entrepreneur, that I love. I love to help people. I love to be involved in people's lives, and to provide for them is, it's heavy, but at the same time, it's so rewarding to be able to see people come because, hey, I just needed to get a quick job. I wanted to, Jill's office is hiring, I don't know if I'm gonna work at a call center forever, but it's just like, they've been here for 5-6 years and I see how they progress. And it's just like, I had a dream and that dream became real. And, years later, I'm providing for families. And that's why I want to continue. People ask me, like, do you want to continue to grow? It's like, yes, I do. Because I want to be able to provide more for families. And that's what me as an entrepreneur, I love to do.
I love that. So, you can just hear your passion. One, we talked about helping the business owners, but now in the team members too, of that, the real success in your drive and purpose comes from impacting lives, and how you can do that with, each and every team member, and how, their part in your business does that. And so, yeah, you can just tell, your passion shining through about that. And I'm sure you just have an incredible culture because of it, because you know how much you care about the impact that you're making on people.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that business owners can do, especially when they find the right who's, even if they don't necessarily have the degrees or this or that, but they have the passion, they have the culture to be able to move them into things that allow them to be the entrepreneurs in their business, in my business, where, even though I'm the entrepreneur, I can share the vision, but them as the entrepreneur can really grow with inside their own culture in their own department and really make a lot of decisions. Because I let them do that. I let them feel like they have that opportunity to make those decisions, understanding my vision and Autumn's vision and the network of the people, but to be able to, they have their own place to grow inside the business. And it's awesome, because we allow for entrepreneurialism in Jill's office.
And that's kind of full circle from when we talked about in the beginning of, you and your wife both having your own space to grow, but that you've created a culture of that they all have their own places to grow and succeed. And I love the term for that of, they're running and making decisions and growing in their own roles and place in the business. Well, we've talked a lot about highlights and highlight reels and things we love about running a business. Let's dive as we wrap up here. I don't know how time always goes so fast, but as we wrap up, talking about some of those moments of courage in your business path, either in the beginning, making that leap, in growth, making the leap, or bouncing back from failures of things that didn't go the way that they have, of some moments of courage in your journey.
Yeah. That's a great question. Entrepreneurs are always going to be faced with opportunities where they're going to have courage when you're stepping in front of employees and, giving them the hope and vision when in your mind, you might know where that's coming from or where you're going to see that. I think, we always say, hey, we're going to grow our business. And if we grow it past this, all the problems are going to go away. And it's just like, that doesn't happen. It's just like, even though you grow your business, the problems just might have more zeros behind them. At the end of the day, you're still going to be faced with issues. And I think one of the greatest things that you can do is to have complete faith in your vision and of where you started. Why did you start? Your why. Because when you're sitting down, like, for example, let's get raw. Jill's office, we were having we're having an issue with inside the company. So we were in meetings this week or last week, and I was sitting down and I was hearing, hey, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, Brant. We got to fix this. And it's like, okay, let's fix it. And it's just like, as an owner, your job is to fix things, and your department heads. You don't necessarily hear about all the great things that are happening in your business because they're great, right? They're working. Your job is to solve those issues. And so it's just like, man, I feel like I got hit and I got hit and I got hit. And it's just like, holy crap, this thing sucks. Like, let's just go home and eat a pint of ice cream and call it good. And then, but at the same time, it's just like, what is my why? How can we solve this? Let's, we're smart. Let's have courage to move forward, and let's have faith in your product and in who you are to be able to make those decisions. And guess what? We had some great problem solving, meetings, and some great outcomes, happen from it. And, in the past, week, we've seen some major changes in some of the decisions that we've made. But it's the courage to not be knocked down and stay down. Like, you got to be able to not quit, but to just have that faith to just move that step forward, even when it feel like it's like over and over and over again, because there was a reason why you started a business. Like, believe in that.
I love that you were vulnerable enough to talk about that and that we need to it happens over and over as business owners. And I don't think that's always talked about a lot, that strength to get back up happens over and over and over. And you're right, no matter what the size of the business, it's just more significant. And that there are so many times, and just acknowledging that you do feel like you want to quit, that you want to just go get the ice cream, just crawl it, put the covers over your head and give in, that the problem seems like, why do I have another thing to solve? Why is the weight of all of it on me? It's easy to get yourself in that cycle, especially if it's a big thing that's happening, or like we said, it happens over and over and over again in business ownership. It's not like, oh, everything's going to go and I've just had like a couple little setbacks. There are things over and over and over that you have to choose to, like you said, get back up, fight, reconnect yourself to your why. Not why is this happening to me, but why is this important to me? So I love you said that, because it does.
I call it the Ted Lasso effect. Have you seen Ted Lasso?
No,
it's on Apple TV. It's a great,
okay.
It's great. But it's too hard to give things away. But he's a football coach that got to have a football analogy somewhere, right? He's a football coach that gets brought over to England to become a soccer coach who knows nothing about soccer, right? It's just like his biggest thing that he preaches, even though this is going to be like a million foot view away from what the series is about, but you got to believe, right? You have to believe in yourself. No matter, you might not know the answers, but you believe in yourself, believe in your why. And that can get you through a lot of things.
It can. Believe. I like that. Now I'm going to have to go check out Ted Lasso. So,
yeah.
Well, as we wrap up the episode, we always have a call to action for our viewers. We all know that growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone, when you have the courage to push past your fears and get uncomfortable. And those who are growing and on that path to success are constantly doing that on purpose. So that's the challenge for the viewers for the week of what's one thing you need to do to get uncomfortable. If you are watching, make sure that Jake has I love it, Jake. Thanks for all the awesome comments. But so if you're watching, put it in the comments with us, send me a message, let me know, but we will sign off with Brant and I each sharing one thing that we're going to do this week to get uncomfortable. So I'll turn it over to you first.
Yeah. So I think the greatest thing, especially as we've talked through these things and, especially when we're talking about growth and different things, like I think one of the greatest things that you can do is basically delegate. Like you can only go so far as a human, as an entrepreneur. But I think one of the greatest things that you can do is let go. And it's the scariest thing that you can do is let go. But it's the most rewarding thing that you can do is let go. And what I mean let go is find the right people to be around you, find the right businesses or the right companies that are your people to support your business and to let go. If you want to grow, if you want to be who you really want to be and the business that you wanted it to be, let go. So that you can be the visionary, that you can grow your business. And this is not even saying like, hey, I have this, one guy in a truck, but it's just like you hired someone to come in and you're going to teach them, like, could they start a crew? Could you be like, no, you have to do like this, but could you have ultimate faith that they've learned from you to be able to start their own crew? Can you let go? Growth and opportunity is all around us. We just have to be able to accept it and, delegate and let go.
I love that version of let go. And you're right, because we have a tendency to grip so tightly to things that we need to control and to let go of that control. And delegation requires us letting go of that control. So mine's going to be similar in that my word is letting go. It is amazing as entrepreneurs and in our journey that we have lessons that we know and do so well at, and so well at that we teach others, right? So I talk about all the time, like letting go of worry and putting systems and rituals into your life to support yourself and to not have the worry and to surround yourself with a tribe that We just talked about this in another conversation today, to surround yourself with the tribe, really protect yourself so that you're having what if conversations that elevate yourself and not what if conversations with people that cause worry. And sure enough, as I have had a lot going on in my life and crazy transition, I somehow got out of those systems and really have this is vulnerable, but because I didn't do that, like everything I talk about and teach, I wasn't doing, and really let worry get into my life without thinking about that I was worrying. I just had a lot of anxiety about a lot of things. And, that anxiety was manifesting itself in not good ways. And so I am getting uncomfortable this week, talking about it intentionally, letting go. So that was uncomfortable. I just said that. I just said I haven't been practicing what I talk about all the time, and like let the anxiety take over probably for the first time. So I am putting those systems back in place and not just letting go with delegation, but letting go of worry.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Brant, thank you so much for being on with us today. So many great comments already. You provided such great value to the audience and to me, and new perspectives. And it's just always fun hanging out with you. If you guys want to learn more about Jill's office, we will put it in the show notes. Or where can they find you online?
At www.jillsoffice.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Brant. Thank you, viewers, whether you're listening live on Turfs Up Radio, here with us on Facebook, or by recording. Keep joining us each week at 1 p.m. Eastern, and download and subscribe the podcast. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.